And now to introduce Kirk Martin, one of our Distinguished Alumni winners for this year. I'd like to invite to the front our board chairman and a Distinguished Alumnus awardee from 2021, Mr. Dan Carney.
Thank you very much, Brent. It's a genuine pleasure to be selected, voted, chosen as the chairman of this board. I have a long history. I'm going to address that in just a moment, but this is this is one of the funnest things that we get to do each year is recognize these folks that we're about to recognize. First things first, I'd like to thank my spouse of 48 years. She couldn't be here today, but Sandy sent my substitute, my granddaughter, who is now a Texas A&M graduate this past year, and former executive officer, Squadron 23. And I'm so pleased to have her here with me today. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Another piece of quick business, thoughts and prayers. Former trustee Sue Cody is a good friend, dedicated to this school. She's hospitalized as of yesterday. She's gotten pneumonia. They're running a bunch of tests. Hopefully it's all going to be good, but Sue's husband was Wild Bill Cody, my history teacher back here in the day. And we're all thinking about Sue today, and I wanted to pass that on to you as well. Again, it's one of our funnest events, I think. I was given a partial list of some of the folks here. Good friend, Sheriff Russ Authier. So many years that we've worked together on so many cases. So pleased that you're here. His daughter Mandy Ford runs John Forrest's office back there. John Forrest, one of my oldest professional friends, 2023 Alumni of the Year. Ben Whiteman, where are you, Ben? How many years in law enforcement? 30 years. And yes, sir. And that beautiful lady sitting beside you, I had the privilege of working with her in the same law office for a decade or 12 years, something like that. Great memories. She worked with me with a guy named Don Cressman. Where's he at? There he is. Catch a can in June, my friend. Here we go. One more time. Wayne Garrett, John Henson. I didn't see Wayne. I thought he was going to be here. John Hinton, two more guys have been to Catch Can with me. Pat Hamilton, my class president in Weatherford High School, 1971. A lot of history there. His beautiful wife, Sharon. Donna Dickinson, I didn't see Donna. We worked a lot of different projects and deals together with Jerry and Vicki. Some of our biggest supporters, Jerry and Vicki Durant. If you got any question about that, walk out there and take a look at that building that is going across the street. Joe Tyson, my seventh grade coach. What a guy. And a great author, too. You wrote a nice book, as I recall. Jamie Boterford Brinkley, legend in real estate here. Thank you for taking care of my broken-legged partner of 40 years, Tom Vick. She goes by and takes him soup and while he's getting his leg fixed up. And, of course, Doug Dowd, the vice chairman of this, his now great-great-great-grandfather was the president of this institution in the late 1800s. And it's just remarkable. This is a generational college. You know, I grew up 5 miles from here on a ranch out in the country, and greatest lady I ever knew, Loretta Carney, graduated in 1943, class representative. I did in 73. My daughter Stacy in 05. That girl right there, 21. It's a generational school that has given so much to so many of us. And Raymond Pritchard, I mean, people that I've known all my life proud to have the opportunity to speak to you and to have this moment with you. Todd Allen Farmer, 1987. Wow, a leader that leads. And if you have, please, you got any doubt about that, you just pick up a copy of this report that's out that shows you where we've come in the 6 years that Todd Farmer has been here. $139 million impact on the North Texas economy right out of this school. We had 8,132 total students in 2023. 8,000 students. Like he said, we got 4 bachelor's degrees now, and we're going to get more. They're coming. We've got a golf course, thanks to Nancy and Richard Stewart. How many community colleges in this nation have that? And so we're going to be adding culinary training and programs through that building, landscape and turf management, jobs, influx into this economy. This is a driver of the economy in this area. Todd Farmer, 6 years. I look forward to the next 6. I cannot tell you how much I look forward to that. It's a generational, since 1869, this is a generational school. But today I want to tell you about one particular man. He's a man that I have known for most of my professional career, for sure. He's a smart and gifted attorney. He's now a wise and widely respected judge. But before that, he was a working man. And I'm telling you, I'm talking about a working man. He founded his own ironworks company in '82. He wasn't born here in Parker County, as I recall, but he got here as quick as he could. And he started this ironworks company, and this was hard work. This was hot work, talented hands. You guys might remember the Texas summers of the early '80s. They were brutal. They were harsh. And this man was in there doing some of the most creative crafting of Victorian pieces of gates and fences and decorative pieces. Anybody ever noticed the fencing, the crestings that are on the courthouse, on each corner of that courthouse up there, those marvelous decorative pieces that are on the top of that? Well, my friend's talented hands were the hands that built those. He then in '84, he started a successful insulation company, and it had a great reputation, and he did really well at it. But this man, he always wanted to do even more. He went back to school. What school did he go back to? Right here. Came to Weatherford College, graduated there in '89, Phi Theta Kappa. Went to UTA Arlington in accounting, but he was working the whole time. This working man wanted to do even more, so he goes to Baylor University School of Law and graduated in 1993. A man that had worked with his hands and done good, hard, hot, honest work all those years decided he wanted to be an attorney, and that's what he did. He got up and he did it. And he handled all kinds of criminal cases, civil cases, family law, probate. He did all of it. This man decided, though, he wanted to do more to serve. So he decided he was going to serve the people of the state of Texas. I think he had a little urging from a guy named Mac Smith and myself, perhaps, as we were prosecutors way back in the day. And this man decided he wanted to become a felony prosecutor himself. He went over to Palapena County and he did hundreds of felony cases over there in Palapena County. After that, he wasn't done. He decided he'd like to serve Texas some more. So he became the judge for the Justice of the Peace Precinct Number 4, starting in 2016. And I don't know what you know about justice courts, but they do everything. I'm talking thousands of cases and all kinds of cases, and that's what this man did. But then this working man, he answered the bell one more time, and he's now the elected judge of County Court at Law Number 1 here in Parker County. This working man answers the bell every time. Parker County Child Protective Services Board, Parker County Crime Commission, the Children's Advocacy Center Board, the Parker County Historical Commission, the Parker County Sheriff's Posse. For 39 years he's done that. Rotary clubs, both Aledo and Weatherford, as I recall. Habitat for Humanity. He and his absolutely stunning bride, Angie, they have a son, Chance, who's here with us today, his lovely bride, Abigail, and their granddaughter, Emma. This is a working man, but he is also a fair man, and he is a fair judge. He is my friend, and he's the 2024 Distinguished Alumni, Weatherford College, Kirk Martin.
Not as tall as some of those folks been up here. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dr. Farmer. Thank you, Brent. And thank everyone for being here today. I'd first like to recognize my family. Dan has done that pretty well, but again, my mother, Ann Tips, over here to the right. Next to her would be my wife, Angie, our son, Chance, his wife, Abigail, and my granddaughter, Emma. So thank you all for being here. You know, in deciding what I wanted to say today, it really did make me stop and think, and Dan has given you a lot of my background. But I really did get to thinking, how did I get from being a welder and a construction worker to sitting as judge in County Court at Law Number 1? The easy answer is that I went to college, went to law school, and got out and worked hard. But when I started peeling back the layers on my life and the how I got to where I am today, as far as my legal profession, it became abundantly clear to me that there were people that came along at different points in my life, and I feel like the good Lord put them there for a reason. And each one of them played a part, and I'd like to acknowledge some of those people here this afternoon. And I have to start with a couple that everyone in this room knows, and that's Jerry and Vicki Durant. And it was my association and becoming friends with Jerry after doing some work for him and getting to know him. I had the welding business and was starting the insulation business, and Jerry was a member of the Park County Sheriff's Posse. And he encouraged me to join that organization because he thought it would help my businesses. And so I followed his lead on that, and I joined the Sheriff's Posse. Well, that one event probably changed the course of my life. And the reason I say that is because it brought me into contact with Mr. Mac Smith and Dan Carney. And in getting to know those guys, I developed an interest in their work as felony prosecutors. And over time, I eventually talked to Mac about it and Dan, and I said, you know, I think I want to go to law school. I want to be a prosecutor. And of course, they each encouraged me to do that. Well, I had a plan now, but there was a long ways to go get there. And part of that was when I was in high school, mathematics and I didn't really get along. So I went to another Sheriff's Posse member who was a mathematics instructor here at the college, Mr. Martin Brown. And I went to him and I said, Martin, I want to go to college and go to law school. I said, but I didn't do well in high school mathematics and I don't know that I can do it. I don't know that I can get through the math part of this deal. And he told me, he said, Kirk, he said, don't you worry about it. You go get registered and you sign up for my class. He said, I'll work with you. You can do it. I know you can. Well, what do? You go register. And I did. Signed up for his class, and he got me through it. And as Dan pointed out, when I had to declare a major, when I headed over to UTA, I declared accounting as my major, which wasn't real good thinking on my part. I mean, I'd worked really hard at math at Weatherford College, but I had no idea what I was fixing to get into. But anyway, we made it. And, going back to Martin Brown and Weatherford College, I soon learned that as encouraging and supportive as Martin was, so was every other instructor here at Weatherford College. Everyone wanted their students to succeed, follow their dreams, reach their goals. Every instructor here, and I hated that Miss Cody couldn't be here. She was my all-time biggest supporter. My greatest cheerleader was Miss Cody, and now a dear friend, and I sure wish her well, and she'll be in our prayers. A couple other people that I'd like to mention that were instrumental. They came into play when it became time to apply to Baylor Law School, and the first one, Mr. Hank Grimminger. Hank was born and raised here, went to Baylor on a football scholarship, was drafted by the Green Bay Packers and played 10 years under Vince Lombardi. Came back and started a home building business. Hank was a good friend and did a lot of work for him. The last person I'll speak to was our state rep at the time, Rick Williamson. And Rick wrote a letter of recommendation for me to the law school, and also he was friends with Mr. Herb Reynolds, the president of Baylor University, and wrote him a letter on my behalf. And I feel that would probably, those guys' recommendations are, I'm sure, weighed heavily on my admission to Baylor. Rick, he was our state rep. When he passed, he was serving as the commissioner of the Texas Department of Transportation. His widow, Mary Ann, is here today. Thank you. Each of these persons were instrumental in me being here where I am today. But the real hero of this story is Weatherford College itself. And I say that because when I decided to go to college, I was 30 years old, had a 2-year-old son, running 2 businesses, basically out of the front seat of my truck in a warehouse on South Main. And it took everything I had to hold it all together and keep all the balls in the air. Time was of the essence, and had it been required that I commute to either Stephenville or Arlington starting out, I just wouldn't have been able to do it. So the fact that Weatherford College was here made it all possible. So my heartfelt thanks goes out to Weatherford College, the college board, the faculty, and also to those individuals who in 1869 had the foresight and the willingness to help others to found this college, which has, without question, changed the lives of tens of thousands of students. Thank you.